I'm about to perform a play, right? So I'm in here rehearsing, and I'm getting turnover. Repetition is what I'm doing. It's no different than giving a speech. It's no different than giving a toast, and it's no different than giving a presentation in the boardroom. It's all the same. I rehearse all of that stuff. I memorize what I'm going to say over and over and over again because, you know, repetition is the king. You know, everyone thinks repetition, it gets this bad vibe, it gets this bad name, repetition and practice, because people think it's boring. And I learned early on, you know, as an athlete and as a performer, that those who could deal with the monotony and the boredom of repetition and doing the same thing over and over again, those would be the ones who would be the best in the world at what they do. So I want you to get used to that mastery, that repetition, that loneliness, that mundaneness, is that a word? That being alone and training and repetition, it's not boring. Kids say it's boring, it's not boring. It's mastery, it's greatness. It's the highest level of intelligence that there is. That's why I do it. That's why I want you to do it. So I've done this play, like I said, 1,300 times, right? So a lot of audience members come to me and they go, you know, I've seen this play 12 times. You know, I've seen your play 8 times. And they go, it's different every time. And I go, yeah. And they go, how can you make it different every single time? I say, it's only different because it's happening in real time. I'm not just spewing words that I've memorized by rote. I'm not doing that. I'm looking out into the audience, just like I'm looking at you right now through the lens of this camera. I'm looking at you. I don't know exactly what's going to come out of my mouth, but I look there and then the words come out. I'm co-creating whatever this performance is. I'm co-creating it with the audience members in real time. That is the key to the most amazing performances that you can possibly muster, because now your audience becomes a necessary player in your speech. Your audience becomes complicit with your performance. They're helping you create it. But you as the performer have to look out there and be brave, because it's, you know, it's not for the faint of heart. You have to look out there, you've got to have a lot of courage, and you got to look at them and you got to say to yourself, what do they need? And what do I need from them? And let's create it right now. And then those words, boom, come out of my mouth. And so now me and this person have this relationship. And now this relationship's going to go on for 90 minutes of this show. And I'm going to go to the next person, and the next person, and the next person, and recreate and co-create the performance in real time, so that by the end of the show, it's hitting a crescendo where everybody has created this story together and everybody's on the same side. And then at the end of the show, what happens a lot of times is boom, the audience gets slugged right in the stomach for helping me create this thing, because it might have a dark ending, right? Or I might ask them to a call to action. I might ask them to do something. Well, if they've created it, they're more apt to do something, to act. And that's what this is about. You have to have the courage to look out into the audience and say, I don't know where I am. All I know is I need you, and I know you need me. And here we go. And create it right in the moment. That's great art. That's great speaking, and that's great performance. The magic of great performance, great speaking and great performance, whether it's a play or a speech, is this little magic that happens between the lines, that surprise even the performer. Because I memorize it, and then I say it so many different ways. I say it fast, I say it slow, I say it like my audience is deaf, I say it like I'm talking to kindergartners. I rehearse it in all these crazy different ways so that I never do it the same way twice. That way it's real. So whenever I'm out there with a person, anything can happen between me and that person. And everything has happened between me and audiences. Surprises, like people have fainted in my audience. People have been blind, which I didn't know they were blind, and I tried to touch them. And I reached my hand to them, and they didn't reach their hand back because they couldn't see my hand. And I didn't know they were blind. Do you understand? All kinds of surprises happen. That is the magic of live speaking, of live chemistry in a theater like this. People don't get enough of those moments. Those magical moments are usually ruined by the performer. You know, like say I'm up here performing and I'm drinking a bottle of water and I drop the water and it spills all over my shirt. And I would say, no, stop, let me stop and go back again. That ruins a great performance because that water falling, now the audience, when water falls, when you make a mistake on stage, your audience then all of a sudden sees your humanity and now they're on your side and they love humanity. They love to see our foibles. They love to see us mess up because now we're like them. And most of us we want to be perfect as speakers and performers, so we never let them in on our humanity. Well, as soon as something kind of, you mess up a line or you don't know where you are, now your audience is on your side. So that's the magic. Never let that pass. You know, sink your teeth into that and pray, you know, that those moments happen because they're irreplaceable.